What is up today, guys? Today, well, we're in part 2. We are in part 2 of month 22 of my computer animation degree program at Full Sail University. So, let's jump into this. What class are we talking about this time? This time we're talking about animation production, and you should know that if you watched the past video about historical archetypes and mythology. Let's get into this animation production. We're going to talk about class information, assignments, teachers, some tips, and in short, and then we're out of here until after Christmas break. Awesome sauce. Okay, let's get into this. Class information, starting off strong. Here we go. 13 assignments throughout the month. Easy friggin' peasy. We're in Maya, nothing really new there. We are working with the Mary rig. There's no wiggle room on this, you're using the Mary rig. And I know that a lot of the times we're like, oh, the Mary rig, her elbows do a weird thing and her knees do a weird thing. That's why I've been using the Cool Sport guy for the past 2 project and portfolio classes. However, they do show you how to deal with the weird elbows and knees pull vectors and make them just work normally. And it's just super easy. I believe it's in the settings and preferences. Just gotta change one little thing and it's super easy. Also, there aren't really lectures. They give you an awful lot of assets to use in your animation, so you can have tables, chairs, a whole bunch of things. Cars, little stuffed bears. There's an entire folder. It's probably got 100+ items in it. Really cool. You can make a cool animation. Your animation's gonna talk, you're working on the same animation all month. However, it's a little different than how it has normally been when it's like you're doing one animation all month. So in the past classes, it's like week 1's blockout, week 2 is secondary, week 3 is tertiary, and week 4 you're finalizing. This month is different. Week 1 you're doing all pre-production, so reference and planning. And then week 2 you're blocking and working on timing. And then week 3 your dialogue. Dialogue is gonna be in this. Holy cow, dialogue. And then week 4 is polish and cleanup. And then you do have discussions. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. Talk about the week 1. Yes, the good old calendar is back. So week 1, I like what they did here. Week 1 started here on the 25th, and then it went past Sunday and was due the next Wednesday. With me on that. That's because Thanksgiving was here. So they give you 3 extra days, which is really friggin' helpful. That aside, like I said, week 1 is all pre-production. Okay, so let's just take it bullet point by bullet point. So there's a summary intro for the week. It's just a few paragraphs of text saying, here's what you're doing for the week. Easy. And then you have a discussion. Overall, I'd say it was helpful. It's watching 2 hours worth of videos though on lynda.com over gestures and animating a character. It's cool. Something that if this wasn't during Thanksgiving time and I had the other class to deal with, I would have really enjoyed this, but I was like stressed out. I was like, this is gonna take an hour to do. This one's gonna take an hour to do. Then I've got to take some notes. I've got to take a quiz over one of these. So what you do is you watch your first hour of videos and then you do your discussion. It's a guy that I believe said he worked for Pixar at one point, which was really cool just to hear that. I'm like, holy cow, I'm watching a guy that worked at Pixar. And he's teaching you all about gestures. He's like, there's a million different ways you can do one action. Like that whole little hand thing I just did right here, you can go, whew, or you can have, like there's a million ways to do it, or there's a million ways to do it, or there's a million ways to do it. There's that. He's just kind of showing you different ways. And there was a really cool thing in there. I think my biggest takeaway from that, he said it was like there's a gesture train. Get about 5 people. Here are the 5 people. These back 3, are not looking. These 2, gestures, gesture, gesture. This one has to then go talk to this guy. Gesture, gesture, gesture. And then this guy talks to this guy. Gesture, gesture, gesture. And all the gestures look different, and it's so friggin' cool to see even just 5 different ways you can do 3 different gestures. It's really cool. That was my favorite part of the video. If you guys can't tell, in this video I'm way more pumped up than in the past one because I did not care about historical archetypes and mythology at all. I just didn't until I got to that Maui assignment. Then I kind of liked it. This one, I like animation. Animation is cool. Animation is rad. Animation is cooler than sliced bread. Anyway, moving on. That's the first part of the discussion. The second part, you're watching about another hour's length of videos, still on lynda.com. And then you take what is called the animating a scene worksheet, which it's a test. 10-question multiple choice, super easy. If you watch the video and you even have a basic understanding of animation, you're gonna be just friggin' fine. And that's it for the discussion and the scene worksheet. And then you're gonna move into pre-production. Pre-production is this. Let me scoot over so I can start putting stuff over here. Pre-production is you choose your sound clip. In discussions throughout the month, you get to like see progress on what people are doing in their scene. You get to comment and stuff like that. A lot of people chose the one that I chose. I'm not saying, oh, they all copied me. This is just a popular sound clip. It's the one where they say knock yourself right out. Because the other ones were just either you don't have much to work with or they just weren't as fun. Like, go knock yourself right out. That's a good one. I believe the entire thing was, we could take a few more minutes if you like. Knock yourself out. Actually do that. Knock yourself right out. That's the line I chose. For the animations that I play up here, I'm not gonna have the sound on. It's gonna get annoying and then I'm just gonna have to sit here for 8 seconds and no one wants to watch that. They're gonna be not playing the sound up here. But on the very last one, I'll play the sound so you guys can see what it looks like. That aside, I believe you had you have 5 to choose from. All female voices because Mary is a girl. Look at that. Mary's a girl. Oh, how sweet. So you choose that and then you record yourself with your computer at 24 frames a second. That way you can just match up your frames to your reference and it'll all be friggin' easy. This is gonna be your reference. Don't think you're gonna record it 1, maybe 10 times and be fine. I recorded mine over 300 times. I spent about 3 hours, but I just let the sound clip play like on loop and I just let my camera record constantly. I recorded for like 45 minutes that I went through. I was like, are any of these good? And then I was like, no, I'm not really feeling them. I recorded for about another 10 minutes and I was like, okay, I like this one. But then here's the catch. You have to submit it to your professor and ask him, hey, do you approve of this? Because he has to approve your reference. I submitted it, he's like, fix this. So I recorded for about another 30 minutes. Found one I liked, I submitted it to him, he said, better, but try to work on this. So then I'm like, oh. I recorded about, another couple minutes up till the 3-hour mark. And then I was like, I like this one. And then I send it and he's like, cool, I like it. We'll push some of the poses in animation, but this is a good reference. Yes. So after I got the reference, okay, so then you take your reference, okay? You've got it, video, it's approved and everything. You're gonna download this thing called, is it OBS? Yeah, OBS. And it's pretty much like a screen recording or a you recording system. You're gonna screen record your reference with this OBS software thing. And what you're gonna do is you're going to explain your structure. You're gonna be like, this is a key pose, that's passing pose. I'm gonna break it down right about here. I'm gonna use 2 or 3 frames here, and you're gonna go through your entire animation, or your entire reference, I should say. Identifying your structure. And then after that is done, you're gonna take your reference clip and your animation structure breakdown thing where you're like, this, and this. You're gonna submit it off. I did an extra part because here it says materials needed, it says pencil and paper or Word. I was like, so is that asking me to simply just write out what I'm doing or draw out or type out? But then I was like, what if I did draw? So I went through my reference and I screenshot all of the like key poses and breakdowns, and it's an extreme here and then he's coming back here and that's another extreme. I'm gonna get that breakdown in there too. So I went through and I screenshot all those, and then I went to Photoshop, took the opacity down on all those screenshots, and drew like, I don't know, a little stick person over me so I can see like the curves and the arcs better. I made little notes on the side, and I feel like that helped me. I got a 95 on this project. I don't know what I would have gotten if I didn't do that. Maybe less, maybe it didn't help me at all. I found that when I was doing my block out in week 2, that did help. So something to look into, maybe do it if you have time. Other than that, you take the video that you did, you're identifying your structure, that, and simply just upload it to the discussion. The discussion is worth 0% of your grade. It's just for other people to see what you're gonna be doing this month, what you're working on, and have them give you some input. And it only takes like 30 minutes anyway, so that discussion only takes about 30 minutes. The entire week 1, I spent 10 hours and 13 minutes. And I had started that on the Tuesday, because Monday I worked. Then I finished everything on that Wednesday when it was due. That's why in the past video, when I was talking about ham, I had to call off work this day. Because I was like, it's a discussion, it won't take 4 hours. But then it took me the entire day. So my days were spent on this class. Yeah, that's it. Let's move on to week 2. Week 2. Okay, so you got your summary for the week, a few paragraphs of text, letting you know what's going on. Then you have a practice timing exercise. This is the problem I had with this class, is that it gave you exercises. There's only 2 of them, but when you're working on an animation, you just want to get to it and you want to work on it, or at least I do. But when I'm working on an animation, I just want to get to it. And when I've got to do these exercises, but I'm like, I can't just rush through them because I want them to look good, it's a bit annoying. So, and it's a timing exercise. Like we worked on timing 12 months ago, over 12 months ago. Shoot, I've been animating for 16 months now. Holy cow, that just flew by, didn't it? But yeah, I've been animating for 16 months now. Timing is something I worked on 15 months ago. I get it that some people still kind of struggle with it, and I get that I'm not perfect by any means. I just wanted to not do it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I did it. They already have the keys in place for you. All you have to do is get it to look good. And there's even an example on FSO that you can just look at. Alrighty, so your project for week 2 was to create your block-in. It can be difficult to match the timing of your reference. I hit the table again. To match the timing of your reference to your model, your character. And I saw a lot of timing problems in the discussion of other people. I didn't realize it until like a few hours working on my project. I was like, I cannot friggin' get this, because I was trying to work on it on the computer and look at my reference on my tablet. I was like, this is not working. What I did was, I just imported the video, played it in the background. It's playing at 24 frames a second, so I can just copy my pose. That's it. Have my reference in the background, just an inch away, if that, is my Mary model, rig, whatever, and I can just pose her like I'm posing the reference. And I can do it on the same frames. That way, my friggin' rig is posed perfect. I was gonna say pixel perfect, but certainly not, because I don't look like Mary. All they're looking for, I believe, they're looking for emotion. So you have to pose the face. They're looking for contacts, passing, anticipation, holds, and timing. That's a lot. Like, it's a lot for a block-in, where as in the past, the block-in's like, we just want your contacts, work on your timing, that's it. It's like passing, pose, anticipation, hold, timing. But we don't want dialogue yet. If you start dialogue in the second week, you will get docked for that. No bueno. Lip syncing, no. And your project has to be in linear, not in stepped, not in auto. Linear. I had never used linear before this class, so you might not have either. You can see my week 2 playing up here. It's like not good animation at all. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for great animation. They're looking for, do you have poses right? Is your timing feeling alright? Can your character emote right now, even without lip sync? So you also have to do a reference block-in screen split. There's a video in here. It'll show you how to take your reference and your play blast and put them in like a split screen in After Effects. It's pretty easy. You're gonna have to do it for weeks 2, 3, and 4. So get friggin' used to it. Also, since doing animation, have you guys ever just kind of looked at your hand and just been like, look at those curves and the arcs? I find myself doing that a lot. My voice cracked. It's okay. Maybe I'm getting manlier. Oh, that was the worst thing I've ever said. Moving on. Maybe I'm just parched. Alrighty. So for week 2, you'll be turning in your Maya scene, your play blast, and your split screen. That's it. It's a fun week. That's all I can say. Animating is always fun. Oh, shoot. Did I tell you how long I spent in week 1? Week 1, just in case I didn't, 10 hours, 13 minutes. Then for week 2, your last thing is the discussion, reference, block-in, split. Pretty much, you're going to upload your block-in split screen that you just created for your previous upload. That's it. You don't even have to write anything with it. It's just upload it and then comment on someone else's. That's it. So week 2, I spent 11 hours and 44 minutes. Not bad. Week 3, let's break it down. For 1, you're gonna have your summary for week 3. The text is just telling you what you're doing. You then have a lip sync discussion. So what is that? You're gonna be going back to lynda.com to the, I believe it's the same playlist from that Greg guy. Is his name Greg? But it's the same playlist that you watched last week in week 2. It's just a different part of it. And he's talking about like the ah, e, ooh, ah, ooh, a, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, bada, bing, bang. He's talking about like different sounds the mouth makes with vowels, consonants, other shapes. And then after watching that, you will find a dialogue reference of some other animation project that someone else did online. You just go to YouTube, type in like dialogue animation or something like that. You'll find some good stuff. But don't duplicate what someone else did. There's no point in that. And there's also a quiz over this stuff, so take notes. But for your discussion, you're just writing pros and cons of animating, I believe, the face before you animate the body. I prefer to animate the body and then save the facial expressions for the end, lip syncing and stuff like that. I don't care if I like make them smile or something in a pose. Like, that is your discussion. Let's move on to this week had another exercise. It's called Give Me 5 Words. I didn't like it. I felt like it was a waste of time. They give you this ANSI from character animation class a few months back. Everything is animated except for his mouth. You have to make him talk, or her, I don't know. And I believe he says, "Wow, speech can be beautiful," or something like that. And you just gotta make him say those words. It's worth 10% of your overall grade, so make it good. The lip sync worksheet. The 6-question multiple choice quiz over the video you watched for your discussion. But lastly, your official project, and that's the thing I don't like about having all these extra things to do, is that it feels like you have to push your project off to the side for so long. That's something I don't like. I like, hey, here's what we're doing this week, do it. Instead of what we actually did, which was, here's what we're doing this week, try it here, write something here, then go do it. I understand that they're trying to make us better, and that's something that I just have to live with for the next 4 months. Like I said, I understand that they're just trying to make us better. However, let me learn it. Let me do it. Not, let me learn it, let me learn it, let me learn it, let me learn it, let me do it. That's just me. Maybe you like the little extra stuff, I don't know. But yeah, this week, you want to push it. Just like any other animation class, I always recommend week 3 is the week you should get this thing near perfect as you can, really. You have to add the dialogue this week. You have to, because that's something that they are looking for. Make your arcs better, finesse things. If your character has a hand that lands on a table, what I did was I let her hand come down like her fingers, and then the ones that had already hit kind of, you know, did a little moving. Let them land in an interesting way. Don't, boom, they all land at the same time, her hands on the table, boom, they all come down. It's little things. And then with the eyes, let the eyes open and close 1 frame off from each other. Like, let the right eye close 1 frame sooner than the left eye, or vice versa, however you want it. When the eyebrows come up, the eyebrows will come up, then the eyes will open. And then when the eyes close, and then the eyebrows come down. So let everything work together, work in reaction to one another. That's what animation is all about. It'll make the face seem more flexible. That's what I was told in my feedback for week 3. Your blinks are alright, but give it some more life. Make it feel more flexible and alive. Amp it up. That's what we're doing. We're gonna amp it up. Amp it up. I'm sorry, I'm in a good mood. I like talking about animation, and it's Christmas Eve. How can I be in a bad mood? So yeah, that was my week 3. In week 3, I spent 8 hours, 52 minutes. Not bad, considering what all I had done. And then moving into week 4. Week 4, polish and cleanup. The easiest animation week I may have ever had. Let's talk about it. Because I pushed myself so hard in week 3, which really wasn't too hard, 8 hours, 52 minutes, and I got a 96 in week 3, he was like, I really like what you've got going on, you got a good structure going on, now it's time to exaggerate. So what I did was I tried to finesse things, I made the face more flexible, I tried to smooth out my arcs. Oh, that's so beautiful, I freaking love it. Do you guys, oh, I freaking love I want a hand model in Maya, that way I can just make it do this and have it repeat forever. I love animation. Animation is friggin' awesome. So, week 4, let's talk about it. You've got your summary. Same thing. Then you have your discussion progression, which you cannot do until your project is done. And then once your project's done, there's no extra things to do. It's an easy week. Don't sweat it. So your project, make it look nice. We've done this numerous times already. Make your animation look finalized. Add nice arcs and curves. Just make it look nice. That's what you're doing this week. Let me go ahead and do like a full screen so you can see what mine looks like. It's just a Play Blast, so it's very pixelated, but check it out with the sound.
We'll take a few more minutes if you like. Knock yourself out. Actually do that. Knock yourself right out.
So there it is. I'm very happy with what I was able to make this month, and I feel like because of the way I positioned the character sitting at a table, that made it easier on me, and I recommend the same for you if you have ham with this class as well, because granted, it's like 8 hours here for this class, 7-8 hours there for that class. That's still a 15-16 hour week, and if you work And if you work full-time or part-time, I'm a kid, I'm a child. And if you work full-time or part-time, that extra 15, 16 hours might be a little much on you. I said part-time. So I put my character at a table, and I didn't have to worry about the lower half at all. I just cog and up. Don't have to worry about the feet, no walk cycles, no nothing. So I made it easy on myself. I recommend the same for you if you also have HAM, Historical Archetypes and Mythology. And then for your discussion, I have a bit of confusion / I'm not sure. The discussion says, and I'm going to read this for you. Post compilation of 3 split screen videos. You made a split screen video for weeks 2, 3, and 4 and uploaded that with your final assignments. I'm going to continue. You can use After Effects to do this by importing and lining up each video to output as one video that will play each split screen you have created in sequence. Now, in sequence, not unison. When I went into the discussion, there were so many people that had put all 3 playing on the screen at the same time. I saw another guy who played week 1, and then it went to week 2, and then week 3. And that made sense to me because that's a sequence, not unison. So there were only 3 people that did it what I considered to be the correct way, which is play week 1, play week 2, play week 3. And then 1, 2, 7, 8 people did it all on the screen, all playing at the same time. I'm not trying to be mean, but I feel like they're wrong. This assignment isn't graded yet, so I just feel like when you shrink down your video to fit 3 of them on the same screen at once, along with having your reference on there 3 times as well, it's kind of pointless, really, because you can't see the little details. I feel like when you make it bigger, like the sequence did, that will get you a better idea and you can see the progression better. So, I mean, that's just me. I can't say exactly what the correct way is because it's not graded, but it's a sequence, not unison. So I feel like play 1, play 2, play 3, not play 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. But also, when you upload that, you're going to talk about your strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities that came along with this animation and this class. Strengths and weaknesses, pretty easy. I'm good at this, I'm not good at this. Threats and opportunities, that's where I'm like, what was my threat in this class? And I was like, my threat was time. So this was a very time-consuming month between school, work, family, everything. So that's that. Opportunities, I was like, this was my first opportunity to use a Pixar quality character and rig. And that's because I really do feel like the Mary rig is a very good quality rig after you get past the pull vectors on the elbows and knees. That's pretty much it. There's also something on here called Create Message in a Bottle. I'm not going to do it because I'm doing this, but it's pretty much other students that have taken time to talk about their experience. I think they're just a few minutes. I didn't fully watch any of them. I watched brief little snippets just to get like an idea of what kind of class I'm going into. I don't think that they would want this message in a bottle on there because it's far too long. It still is my message in a bottle to you guys. But you can get the perspective from a few other students as well. And that is pretty much all of the assignments. That's it. Let's talk about the teacher a little bit. I don't have too much to say. In weeks 1 and 2, I was only given text feedback instead of like a video feedback or anything like that, but in week 3 I did get a video feedback for my animation, whereas in week 2 for my animation I just got text feedback, which I feel like a video feedback would have been better, but I mean, it is what it is. Really, I don't have too much to say about the teacher. There was not too much interaction. That's it, because there aren't lectures in this class, so that's all I can say. Tips: if you're also taking HAM, Historical Archetypes and Mythology, make this animation class easier on yourself by limiting the character's motion. I had my character sit at a table, that way I didn't have to deal with the lower half. They don't have to be sitting, they can just be framed from the chest up. That way, if they do weight shift, just move the cog, let the legs drag or something, you're not gonna see them. You can use props, so that's fun. Be inventive in your animation. Other tips, I would recommend in the pre-production week doing that screenshot draw over thing that I did as a little bit of an extra. I'm still not sure if that's what they were looking for, as like you should do this, but I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I can't tell you whether or not my version of sequence is correct in terms of the split screen discussion, but I feel like mine is correct because sequence, not unison. These are really all the tips that I have. The Mary rig is pretty much like any other rig. The dialogue is a little difficult because her mouth rig is the only thing that's very different from other rigs. Let's quickly move into in short and get out of here. In short, we're animating in Maya. Week 1, there's no animation. It's all pre-production. Weeks 2, 3, and 4, That's your animation stuff. There are 13 assignments throughout the month, 2 kind of extra, 2 exercises. I feel like they just kind of waste time, but I can see how some people benefit from them. There are discussions where you can see other people's work and they can see yours. There are other things to talk about. Really, it's just another animation, and we've been animating for 16 months now, so hopefully you should feel comfortable enough to have me just say, we're animating. And that's really all I can tell you. You're animating dialogue, so you get to choose one of 5. A lot of people choose the knock yourself out one. At least they did in my class. They might not in yours, I don't know. But other than that, I think we're good to go. What's a good question for you guys? Here's a good question. What's your New Year's resolution? My New Year's resolution is to get married, because I'm getting married January 4th. And then I don't have to live up to any expectations throughout the whole year. Kidding, I'll think of a real New Year's resolution, but what's your New Year's resolution? Let me know in the comments down below. That's pretty much it for this one, guys. So if you would please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later. I forgot to say, okay, week times. I know I told you a few, but I'm just going to tell you all of them right now. Week 1, 10 hours, 13 minutes. Week 2, 11 hours, 44 minutes. Week 3, 8 hours, 52 minutes. And week 4, 3 hours, 23 minutes for a grand total of 34 hours and 16 minutes. And if you watched my ham video, Historical Archetypes and Mythology, you would know that I spent a lot of time in that one as well. So let me tell you the total for the month. So the grand total for the amount of time I spent doing homework for Full Sail in this month between 2 different classes was 66 hours and 24 minutes. So there's that information for you guys. It looks like weeks 1 and 2 were the heaviest, with week 4 being the absolute lightest at 10 hours and 43 minutes. So now officially, if you guys would please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.